guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a follow-up video to a video I recently posted, which was my vlog, my NYC vlog from last year at Thanksgiving. And I was just thinking that this time last year I was doing all the planning for my trip, doing research and looking at YouTube videos, trying to decide, you know, what to see and where to go once I got to the city. So I just thought I would make 10 tips on visiting New York City at Thanksgiving. So if you're interested, keep watching. So my very first tip is going to be making a resource packet. And what I mean by resource packet is it's kind of all of your information for your trip in one place. So in your resource packet, you're gonna have 4 items. Sorry guys, I have my computer over here. I have a lot of notes, so if I keep looking this way, it's just because I wanna make sure that I say everything that I, wanna say. So there are 4 different papers in this. There is the logistics paper. There is a must-see list. There's like all the Christmassy stuff list, and then there's your itinerary, okay? So the logistics sheet has all of your travel information on it. This is like the who, the what, the when, the where. This is actually mine. So, it has like the dates, and it says, how we're getting to the hotel, what hotel we're staying at, how much is parking, the flight numbers, all of this stuff is on this paper. This was really helpful because you can look at this and you have all of your questions answered. So, if you're planning and you're like, oh man, what was my flight number? What time are we leaving? It's in the packet. So this was really good to have. So it's also a really good idea to maybe email this to a spouse or a friend or a roommate, parents, whoever. That way people kind of know like where you're going to be at, just for safety measures. The next 2 sheets are your must-see list and your like all the Christmassy things list, okay? So this was my very first time to New York City. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to see all the Christmassy stuff and all of the normal touristy attraction type stuff. So I had to pick and choose. So there were 4 of us in the group that went, and we all wrote out, made a list of what our must-see things were. And so wrote all that stuff down, and then wrote all the Christmassy stuff down, so we all could make sure that we saw everything that we wanted to see. So once I created these lists, I went back, and on this one you'll see there's a little bit more information under each thing. So you can see here that like I just wrote down like holiday pop-up markets, Bryant Park, Winter Village, and I have like all the information, the dates, the times, if there's a fee to get in somewhere, the address, the phone number, all of that kind of stuff I have here. This is gonna make my type A's go crazy, I just know it. they're loving this right now. But this was really helpful because this helps you plan your itinerary. Once you know the times and where things are located in the city, you can easily make out your itinerary based off of this list. So this was super helpful. And then let's see, the last thing of course is the itinerary. Now I don't have mine still saved on my computer, so it doesn't really matter, you're just gonna look different than mine anyways. But that would be the last thing that you make from your resource packet. So anyways, this was really helpful to have. I typed all this up and I emailed it to each person in the groups. We had a copy in our emails. So once we got to the city, it wasn't like we were like standing on the side of the corner trying to look up, oh, we want to go do this. Where's this at? Like I already knew that, I already had that planned out. You save time and money and effort once you get there if you already have this figured out. So definitely the first thing is make a resource packet. I promise you it's worth the time and effort. So my next tip is to book your tickets and hotel reservations as soon as possible. As soon as you know that you want to take this trip, I would recommend trying to start booking things immediately, because the longer you wait, the more expensive it is. It's already a very expensive trip to take because you're going at one of the most popular times of the year. So things are already expensive. So you're gonna want to book those and try to get, your tickets as cheap as you possibly can. The sooner you know when you'll be going, the sooner you can start getting tickets for other things like Broadway shows or whatever else you want to do, you can really like map out your itinerary better once you know. So definitely try to book as soon as you think you're gonna go on the trip. So my next tip is to make dinner reservations early in the day. This was something that we did not expect to happen. We found it very difficult to get into a restaurant without waiting for a few hours. I would definitely recommend downloading some apps. There's some really good apps available, like Open Table. I'm trying to think of another one. TripAdvisor. You know, they really help you like see what restaurants are around you. Some of them tell you like what the wait times are. You can make reservations on some of the apps. So I would definitely recommend trying to download those before you go on the trip. Familiarize with how they work, and you know, try to decide where you're going to be at in the city around dinner time. That way you can try to like make reservations, because there's a lot of people there. It's a really busy time and the waits are very long. So another tip would be to like if you're diabetic or if you have some kind of, you know, situation like that, you may want to just carry like some food in your purse or, you know, your pocket or whatever. Because I mean, sometimes getting food, like you think you're in New York City and there's going to be food everywhere, and there is food everywhere, but there's definitely a lot of people and there's long lines and stuff. So just something to consider. But there are some really great apps to download, which leads me to my next point, which is tip number 4, and that is to be familiar with Lyft and Uber. So we actually did not take an official New York City cab the entire time we were there. We used Uber and Lyft. So, you know, just make sure you know how to use them. And, you know, we actually downloaded the apps because we're from a small town, so we've never really used it before that trip. So we downloaded it and, you know, kind of familiarized ourselves with the app and how it works before we went, because last thing you want to be doing is wasting time once you're there trying to download this app and figure out, you know, like where, you know, where everything is and stuff. So I highly recommend download the apps beforehand, familiarize yourself with them, and I think it will save you a lot of time and hassle once you're in the city. There are some great apps that you can download for trips in general, but some that we downloaded for our trip was like I said, Uber, Lyft, Open Table. There was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it showed you all the public restrooms in the city, which is really helpful. So yeah, I would highly recommend get on Pinterest and look up apps for NYC. You know, there's tons of information out there about that. I'll let you, you know, do your own research and figure out what best suits your needs. But yes, definitely using apps, you know, makes it a lot easier, I promise. So tip number 5 is to pack smart. Okay, so before you go on this trip, you're gonna wanna check the weather. I mean, obviously you're gonna be there during Thanksgiving. It's gonna be really cold. Actually, last year was the coldest on record since 1901. I think the lowest temp was like 19 degrees. And let me tell you what, we felt it. It was cold, guys. It was really cold. We froze. But some things to pack are kind of like the obvious. You want your hats, your gloves, your scarves, your warm, waterproof, comfortable boots, your jackets, you know, your beanies, toboggans, whatever you call them. You know, you want all that. But definitely take some hand warmers. Guys, like we had hand warmers shoved everywhere. We had some shoved in our shoes, in our shirts, in our like gloves, in our hats. We were so cold. I mean, because you go out there so early and you're standing for hours before the parade even starts. So you're cold and you're kind of like isolated to one spot because, you know, you can't move or you're gonna lose your spot at the parade route. So you definitely want to pack really, really warm, and, you know, don't think you can just suffer through it, because let me tell you what, it's cold, and we saw a lot of people had to leave because it was really cold and they weren't prepared. So check the weather, make sure you pack all the things that you need to take, and it'll make your trip a better experience for sure. So a few more things you're gonna wanna take on this trip, besides like the clothing items, is gonna be a portable charger, because you're, you know, walking around the city all day. A good lip balm, because it's really windy. You know, lip balm's kind of easy to apply, protect your lips, and a good crossbody purse. So I thought about taking a backpack with me, and I had a friend who had went to school in New York, and she was like, don't take a backpack, it's really easy for pickpocketers to, you know, steal your stuff. So I took a crossbody and it worked perfectly. And so yes, definitely find a really good comfortable crossbody. My fiance actually took his wallet and stuck it in his front pocket in his jeans, just as an extra safety precaution, because you know, thieves are real and they're pretty creative with how they go about doing things. So you just want to be safe and protect your valuables. So just something else to consider. Okay, so tip number 6 is to get a hotel room either on the parade route or maybe like a block away. So if you're planning this trip, you already know it's going to be pricey. You know, if you're saving, you may as well go ahead and save a little bit more and get a room on the hotel route, on the parade route, or maybe a block away. Ours was actually a block away, and the only reason we chose that room was because one of us in the group had all these hotel points, and so we got a pretty good discount on the room, so we went ahead and went with that one. But it just makes it easier the morning of the parade. I mean, if you're going for the parade, which we were, you know, you really want to make that experience as comfortable and as fun as possible. And so we were a block away. You know, if anything happened, we could easily just go back to our room if we needed to. But I would definitely love to go back one year and get a room on the parade route and be able to stay in the room and watch the parade. I think that'd be more ideal for kids, like small kids, because all the kids that were around us were crying the whole time because they were freezing and it just wasn't enjoyable for them. So I would recommend just saving a little bit of extra money and getting a room on the parade route or a block away. Like I said, it wasn't bad to just wake up, get dressed, and then walk a block over and we're there. You know, that wasn't bad. But I feel like if you had to get an Uber or a cab or something the morning of and try to make it over there, then try to find a spot, like, to me that would just be more stressful. So I would just try to find something a little bit closer. Tip number 7 is to don't drink very much the morning of the parade. So we walked out of the hotel at like 6:30, and we didn't get back to the hotel until like after 1. So that's a long time to be standing out there. You don't want to have to keep getting out of line and trying to find a bathroom because businesses are closed or they won't let you come in to use the bathroom. So that's definitely a hassle. Like, you don't want to have to, like, you don't want to have a big bowl of cereal for breakfast and a big orange juice and a coffee and some water and have to pee every 20 minutes or, you know, whatever. The closer it gets for the parade to start, you know, you're not going to be able to get out and run back to your hotel or whatever and use the bathroom and then come back and get back in line. People are not going to let you back to your spot. So I would recommend, like, having like a little drink in the morning and then just trying to stick it out, trying to, you know, suffer a little bit until lunch, because you just don't want to have to deal with getting out of line and pushing your way through the crowd and then pushing your way back through the crowd. Just don't really drink anything and it'll save you a lot of hassle, I promise. So tip number 8 is to stand your ground. Because it was so frigid this past November, I don't think there was as many people on the parade route as normal. So I don't know what it's like on a warmer year, but even with temperatures being so cold, there were still crowds. I mean, there's still tons of people around. And we got out really early. We had a really good spot. Of course, the closer it came time for the parade to start, tons of people flocked the area and, flooded the area. And, I mean, we're from the Midwest, okay? We're from Ohio. So we are very kind. We're not really rude people. Like, yes, go ahead, like, stand in front of us, it's fine. But like on this trip, it's like, no, like, we paid a lot of money to come, you know, a lot of effort to get here. We got up super early, stood out here for 3 or 4 hours before the parade starts. Like, I'm not moving. Like, you know, like, this is my spot and I'm standing right here. So yeah, it was definitely uncomfortable once people start pushing you. Like, I'm sorry, that's rude. Do not be that person. Do not be that person. It's so incredibly rude. It was so frustrating for those who put in the time and effort to come out here and stand and save a spot. We weren't giving it up. So you're gonna have to be okay with, like, being rude to people. I mean, not really rude. You don't have to be rude, but You're gonna have to be comfortable with saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm not moving. No, I'm sorry, please stop pushing me. Like, you know, whatever. One time I had someone's camera lens resting on my shoulder. Like, I looked over and this guy had his big camera on my shoulder and I was like, I'm sorry, please get your camera off my shoulder. That made it really uncomfortable, and I'm just being honest with you, like, that was our experience. So, you know, it's frustrating, but people are rude and you have to stand your ground. You know, you took a lot of, you worked your butt off to save the money, planned, you know, you're in New York, so you need to experience it and have a good time, and you just can't let other people ruin it for you. And so we just stood our ground and we were like, nope, sorry, can't come through. And we had a great experience. So, but you need to be prepared for that, because it is uncomfortable if you're from somewhere like I am and we're not used to having to be that firm with people. So, but something you just need to know. So tip number 9 is to go see all of the Christmassy things that New York City has to offer. Guys, I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It is magical. It is going to be one of the best experiences that you've ever had. Truly, I mean that. By this point, they have pretty much everything up and running. All the Christmas stuff is up, and there were a few things that weren't open yet, like Santaland at Macy's wasn't opened. Diker Heights, that's a neighborhood that's really decorated for Christmas. That wasn't ready yet. And then the tree in Rockefeller Center, they don't light that until I think the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, so we missed it by just a few days. But you can still see the tree, like, it's still there, it just wasn't lit. But I mean, it was still cool to see it, like, you know. But I can't think of anything else specifically right now that wasn't opened. I think that's pretty much the main, the bigger things that wasn't up and running yet, but for the most part, everything was ready to go. On our trip, we arrived Wednesday morning and left Saturday evening. So that kind of gives you like an idea of like how much time we had to work with. And we had no issues like seeing pretty much everything that we wanted to see. There were just a couple Christmassy things that we didn't get to see, but that's just because we chose to do other things in place of those. But yeah, you can definitely do it if you're there just for a few days. It's possible. I just wanted to say it is possible to get it all done. So my 10th and final tip is to be present. Guys, put your phones down and live in the moment. Now, I had my phone out the whole time and my camera because I was vlogging it, and so, you know, and taking pictures, and that stuff's fine, but like, you really want to take the time and enjoy it, like live in the moment and, you know, explore the city and see all the different type of cultures that are there, and the foods and the shopping, and there's just so many things to do and see. I feel like you could live in New York City for like 20 years and still not see it all. Like, that's how much there is to see and do there. Like, it really is the coolest place I've ever been to. So I strongly urge you just to keep your phone in your hand to snap some really cool pictures, but try to log off social media for a little bit and just really enjoy your trip, because I promise you, it will be one of your most favorite trips you ever take. So that wraps up this video. I hope it will be helpful for you when planning your trip to the Big Apple. Like I said, I loved my trip. I loved going for Thanksgiving. It was so much fun. I definitely plan on going back again in the future. If you have any tips about traveling to New York City during Thanksgiving, please leave them below this video. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you have a great time on your trip. Have a great day. Bye.